flowing ad budget on metrics that look great till the CFO sees them. That's bull spend. And marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
I remember telling my boss, it'll be good for the brand, when leads were slow. Yeah, it wasn't.
Cut the bull spend. LinkedIn lets you target by company, job title, and more. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Now at McDonald's, a McDouble is $2.50, so you can get your gym gains on. Or just get lunch for only $2.50. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hello and welcome to episode 438 of the Filmmakers Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk filmmaking, from indie film to studio films to high-end TV to documentaries and everything in between. How to get them made, how to make them, and how to try not to royally F it up, in our very, very humble opinion. I'm Giles Alderson, and joining us today is the incredibly talented and versatile actor Guy Pearce. Guy's career has spanned decades and genres, and he showcased his, remarkable range and pretty much captivating screen presence in everything he's done. His breakout role was as Ed Exley in LA Confidential, certainly in Hollywood terms, which earned him widespread recognition, to obviously his mind-bending turn in Christopher Nolan's Memento. Guy Pearce has, in my opinion, constantly delivered these nuanced and unforgettable characters. He's graced our scenes in period dramas like The King's Speech, sci-fi epics like Prometheus, and obviously The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, as well as Neighbours, which is where I first saw him, the Australian soap, and other movies including Ravenous, The Count of Monte Cristo, and very recently, The Mare of Easttown. Now, Guy is back with an absolutely scintillating performance in Brady Corbert's The Brutalist. Brady Corbet and Judy Becker are on this week's episode. This is a Friday special all about The Brutalist, and the director Brady Corbet and the production designer, who are both nominated for Oscars, are on our Tuesday episode. So have a listen to that after you've listened to this, because Guy Pearce gives a enigmatic, reptilian, I would say, performance as Harrison Lee Van Buren in The Brutalist. He plays a wealthy industrialist in the post-war who commissions Hungarian architect Laszlo Toth, played by Adrian Brody, who's a Holocaust survivor and recent immigrant to the US, to build a huge community centre. And what ensues is an epic story of survival, work, and I'd say power, which clocks in at 3 hours and 35 minutes, which includes a 15-minute interval, baked into its print, by the way. It is a wonderful film. It's a cinematic experience. You have to go see this in the cinema. Go see it now. Go watch this movie, The Brutalist. It's going to win BAFTAs. It's certainly going to win Oscars. I would urge you to go to the cinema and watch this amazing film now, and then listen to our episode with the director and production designer about how they made it. I was obviously lucky enough to sit down with Guy Pearce at BAFTA HQ in central London to discuss The Brutalist, which not only has he been nominated for a BAFTA for Best Supporting Actor, but also an Oscar, an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Best Actor nominees for Brody, and Best Supporting Actress for Felicity Jones, who plays Toth's wife, Brody's wife, Elizabeth, and Best Director for Corbett. And while Corbett and his co-writer wife, Mona Fassvold, they're up for Best Original Screenplay. They have received 10 Academy Award nominations for this film. Myself and Guy, we chatted. I actually really enjoyed it. It was a really lovely chat, as you can hear. He talks about working with inspirational directors, what that feels like, how he creates good work as an actor, why it sparks choices, what makes him spark those choices to play nuanced characters, and what he does on set, why he took on the part of Harrison in The Brutalist, and why sometimes scripts don't come fully formed. but this one did. He talks about Memento as well, and working with Christopher Nolan, and the first time he received that script, why he likes rehearsals and why it's good and why you got to try and do it in your indie films. He also talks about an audition I didn't know about for Heat, Michael Mann's Heat, that didn't go as well as expected. He also talks about working with David Cronenberg and what can happen if he asks for another take on a movie set. This is a good one. That's a really good story. Look forward to that. Right. I will play the trailer again. I'll play a different version of the trailer of The Brutalist, and then we will get to Guy Pearce. I will end the episode on the other side with a mini outro, just letting you know what episodes are coming up next Tuesday and the week after. So look forward to that. For now, though, enjoy my chat with Guy Pearce.
There's him. He's alive. What?
These are yours, yes?
Yes.
All of them?
Yes.
Tell me, why is an accomplished foreign architect shoveling coal here in Philadelphia?
I'm afraid it is not so simple. There was a war on, and yet many of the sites of my projects had survived. My buildings were devised to endure such erosion shoreline.
I brought you all out here to join me in looking forward toward the future.
What do you think?
It's unusual, even for you.
Your English is impressive. Perhaps you can help your husband sound less like he shined shoes for a wage. I'm sorry, will you please pass that back?
They do not want us here.
Who do you mean?
The people here, they do not want us here.
When dogs get sick, they often bite the hand of those who fed them. Until someone mercifully puts them down.
I promise.
How you doing?
I'm all right, yeah. Good.
Yeah, just announced that, like BAFTA, you've introduced the film here at BAFTA.
Yeah.
Always nice.
Well, it's sort of weird, though, to talk about the film before people having seen it.
Yes. Yeah.
Rather
I've seen it.
No, but these people hadn't.
Oh, of course.
So, you know, doing an intro and doing a Q&A about it when people haven't just seen it, feels a bit odd, but that's all right.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, I know what you
just
mean.
didn't want to give too much away. Or
Oh, yeah, of course. It's so much better at the end, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because then you can
totally.
go, right, now we can talk about anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, whereas
Is
if you're
there-
talking about big themes and grand stuff, people are like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. You have no idea yet. Kind of might have seen a trailer, but yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, that's
I'm
fun.
not-
Yeah, it's yours.
Let me
yeah.
just do that.
Fill it up. You're often over here, right? I take it?
Yeah, I'm here quite a bit, really.
Do you live here or you also?
No, I live in Holland.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I live in Holland. So
Oh, that's nice. Do you
Yeah.
speak Dutch? Bit of Dutch? No, me neither. Nothing.
my son's Dutch, so
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. My stepson's in Holland right now. He's literally just gone.
Oh,
Last
okay.
couple of days, just for fun. He's gone for a little wander around. So I was like, all right.
yeah, no, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I miss Australia, but you know,
Yeah,
that's
I
all
bet.
right.
Yeah, I was there last year in Australia for the first time. Had that cracking time. It's just amazing, incredible. But Brutalist, let's get to that first.
Yeah.
Look, what a wonderful film. I didn't know what to expect, and I think the same as when you've just introduced it now. I was kind of a bit like, what is going to happen? There's an interval. Are people going to leave? And it was just a huge screening, and it was just packed, and it was mind blowing. I was literally sat there going, "Oh my god, this is spellbinding."
Yeah, it really is quite a special film. I just think Brady's a very special filmmaker. He has a voice and a style that's unique, and he has an intelligence and a curiosity that is second to none.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he's a special talent.
Yeah, I'd say so. Is that one of the reasons you wanted to work on this film?
Yeah, I mean, I read the script and loved it anyway, and I can't remember if I talked to him first and then I watched Childhood of a Leader or vice versa, but at least I knew. I mean, I was very interested in the script anyway, but I certainly knew after watching Childhood that I really wanted to work with him, because I just think to find directors who are artistic, who are true artists, and put something up on the screen that is unique and does have a quality that stands alone as an actor, that's completely inspiring to me. And it's funny, because I always feel like there's a bit of there are assumptions made about what we do as actors, how we do what we do.
Yeah.
And one of the assumptions often that is made is about how we go about building the character that we play. Now, that instantly, to me, indicates some sort of intellectual process, and seems to me to feel like it requires creation. Now, I don't work that way. I can if I have to.
Okay.
But that's not how I work, and it's not how I want to work. I want to be inspired by reading something amazing and working with someone who's amazing, because then I'll do much better, because I then morph into something that I couldn't have created myself. I then acquiesce, and I get on board, and I surf that wave that is coming my way, and just do what is required. And I always do my best work that way, and I always come up with something. I always do something that I didn't expect. And to attribute my good performances, if ever I've done good performances, to the director is the greatest thrill to me. Sure, it's nice to be able to go, the script wasn't fully formed and the character wasn't fully formed, so I had to sort of write some of it myself and come up with some of it myself, and I'm pretty happy with what I created, I guess. But it doesn't interest me as much as being fully inspired, So Brady is one of those people where I just go, oh, let's go.
Yeah.
So that just immediately, and I get it that people don't really know what it is we do. People sort of think we have to figure out a voice and figure out the walk and figure out how you move and figure out that stuff. And to a degree, sometimes you do. And if it's not too much of that, then fine. But if you can have an opportunity where it's there on the page and your imagination is the thing that is sparked, then it's the best.
Yeah. It must be this, like Harrison, it's fascinating when he comes on screen. He's got such this, you can't take your eyes off him. He's
even in that, even in Brady's choice to have the character appear the way that he appears, as you've seen the film, and for those who haven't, I don't want to spoil it, but I come in a bit of a rage because I've discovered something that's happened out of my control, and we get the sense straight away that my character is someone who likes to be in control.
100%.
So it's a great way to introduce the character, and so therefore the audience for the rest of the film is like, I don't kind of know
he's unhinged,
what we're going to get, But the second scene, we see the other side of the coin, So it's a beautiful way. I mean, and one of the great things about Brady and Mona, his wife, who helped him write this script, is his realizing of characters on the page, is his ability to create a fully fledged, three-dimensional human being on the page, like a great author who writes great books does.
Yeah.
You read a great book and you go, I think there seems to be this, I don't know, there's this acceptance that's probably true to a degree, and there's an acceptance in the perception externally that scripts don't come fully formed. that scripts come generally 80% of the way there and everything's a little bit thrown together and then everyone gets to work trying to make it real. And that does happen sometimes. And it comes back to what I was speaking about before. But when you read something like this script that I read, it's like reading an amazing novel. And you go, well, let's go make that.
Yeah. Which, like you say, must be so inspiring because, this is the Filmmakers Podcast. We're all filmmakers who run this. And the amount of times that either scripts get sent to us and we sort of go, yeah, it's not ready yet. And they go, oh, we've already gone out. And you sort of go, oh, really?
Yeah.
And that's maybe why actors go, oh, I'm not really sure. And what was in Brady's script then that really stood out? Was it the action lines? Was it in the
everything?
dialogue?
It was just everything. Just everything. And the choices like that, to have a character 1 minute do this and say that, and the next minute do that and say this, and you go, oh, wow, okay, this is telling. Everything, there's not a wasted breath or movement or word or action or anything that's in Brady's script. All of it, you go, oh, eat that up. That's awesome. Wow, he did that there. Oh, brilliant. So they're thorough.
Yes.
They're just extremely thorough.
Yeah.
As was Memento when I read that. That's one of the closest, it's probably the closest finished film to the script that I've ever done in my life. And I'm all for, I get it. I absolutely get that when you've shot your movie, there either needs to be room for, or there is just room for editing and adjustments and a malleable clay-like form that gets worked, and that is your final draft of the script. I get that. I really do. And that might have even happened to a degree on this. I can't really remember the difference between the script and this finished film, but I certainly can remember that when I read this, I fully could picture it, and I wasn't there going, so I don't quite get the relationship between that character and that character. Are they? They're enemy. Okay, I get it. I see. Who's got the power? Oh, okay. Yeah, So often they're the sorts of questions you're asking because it isn't that clear. Whereas everything was very clear to me in this. We might have still asked questions just to be sure.
Right.
I'm seeing this. Is that what your intention is? Yes. Great.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Because you don't want to be in the wrong movie, obviously.
Well, yes. And that can happen. You see it often when you watch a movie, sometimes you just go, well, they're in a different movie.
Yeah.
Do they come in with totally different intentions? The director's too scared to say anything. Go, yeah, we'll just go with this.
Yeah, and it's funny because I've never directed a film before, but I can imagine that actors come in sometimes and go, I've got an idea for this role. And the director goes, No.
And you've got 3 seconds before you're about to turn over.
Right. That's right. So, I think, funnily enough, one of the reasons why I struggle with having to create stuff myself, having to find the character self, build the character, whatever you want to call it, is that I don't trust myself. I don't trust that what I'm going to come up with, and also if I'm coming up with it, then I've got to be convinced myself with that choice.
Right.
And I go, well, I could be this or I could be that. I don't know. Which way should I go? I don't know. You tell me.
Mm-hmm.
So the real thrill for me is getting on board. It's going, this is what you want. I'm there with you. Absolutely there with you. And then my sense of belief, the belief that I then have in the character, is all tied up with my responsibility to the director. Whereas I don't have the chutzpah to come into a film and go, I've got an idea. How about this guy? And they're all like, no. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe some people might disagree with that. Maybe some people might go, well, you certainly took this character and did that with it. But I can assure you that the only reason I might have or will have done that is because I didn't feel there was enough on the page, and I've had to come up with something.
Right. Do you then come into a general film? Obviously, The Brutalist is maybe slightly different, but generally, do you come in, you've practiced it, you've thought about it, do you come in with your ideas? Like you're saying, then we can play in the rehearsal room if you're lucky enough to get that.
That's the problem, I think, also, is that there's not a lot of room for rehearsal ever, it seems. I think there's a general feeling that I get the sense there's a general feeling that a lot of people don't know how to rehearse.
They
don't know what to do in a rehearsal room. And the rhetoric that goes along with it is, I don't want to over-rehearse. I want this to look real when it goes down on film.
Right.
So my response is, thank you. Good to know you don't trust me. You know, having done 10 years of theatre before I did anything on film, my skill is in rehearsing it 100 times and making it look like it's the first time I've ever done it. So thank you for trusting me or not trusting me. You know what I mean?
Not even reading my CV.
Oh my God. So, you know,
yeah, you get more rehearsal in panto than you do on film.
That's right. You do. Or you get certainly get more rehearsal in Australian films. You know, it's just this given that on Australian films, you just go and sit in a hall for 2 weeks and you at least get up on your feet and muck about and do a few things, you know.
It's a big problem in indie filmmaking that we often get the stars for literally 10 minutes before we're about to shoot.
Right.
And it's a big problem. It's a big issue because...
But it's also a big problem in big, massive studio films that have got the time and the money to do rehearsals, but they don't because I think they're scared to rehearse and they don't know what rehearsal is.
It's mind-blowing to me.
And they say, you know, they'd like you to go there 4 weeks beforehand because there's going to be a rehearsal. I'm like, yes, I'll be there. Absolutely. Great. You end up doing a couple of costume fittings and you go and talk to hair and makeup and, you know, here's your dialect coach and here's your horse riding coach and here's your thingamy coach and that coach with none of which I asked for. And I'm like, where's the rehearsals?
Yeah. It's like you say, that scaredness, I suppose, of suddenly being in a room and maybe being found out. And a lot of directors don't come from the theatre background. They come from a technical background.
Well, that's right. And... yeah, so I do think there is an issue with, that little area of where you go from what everyone thinks this is going to be to shooting, and then there's a bit of a, half of what people are doing is working and it's what everyone's happy with, and the other half you've got execs and you've got people going, don't get him to stop doing that thing with his voice. What's that thing he's doing with his voice? Because can we stop that? You're like, should have told me 2 weeks ago, buddy. We should have done some rehearsal, but no, I'm doing it now. So bad luck.
Yeah, bad luck. I remember on the set back when I was acting, first day, and we would just sort of block the scene, no rehearsal at all, block the scene, and they we chatted it through like very quickly. There we did it. Camera's about to roll. The two big execs came over and went, we're not sure about the northern accent. Don't think the Americans will get it. Can you change it to RP? Wow. Hey, standing by and act.
And standing by with your RP.
RP, like, just whipped it out. And I was like, but I practiced the other one. So it's things like that you just go, now, come on.
I've had a couple of those where I've literally been standing on set with executives going, can you do this instead? And I go, nah, sorry, what's your name? You're paying for the movie. Great. Nice to meet you. But no.
But no, good for you, though, for standing up. I couldn't.
Well, I can't. It's funny, you know, I did an audition once. I auditioned for the movie Heat.
Wow.
For the Val Kilmer role.
Great.
And and I was told the character was Texan, and so I work on my Texan accent, and I go in there a week later, and as soon as I start doing the accent, the director says to me, no, he's not Texan anymore, so just do no accent.
No accent.
Yeah, that's what Americans like to say, is just do no accent. And I'm like, and I instantly felt my blood boil. Yeah. You know, I said, I can't. So I tried to just kind of do it with like an LA, and I was got so angry. I said, I'm really sorry. I've been working on this accent. I now know these lines with this accent. I can't just undo it all of a sudden.
Yes.
I said, can I? And then someone said to me, would you like to come back next week? And I said, yes.
Yeah, give me a bit.
And I left being so pissed off. You know, it was terrible. And then I did go back in a week later and did it with a different accent, not no accent, and didn't get the role anyway. I mean, clearly they must have offered it to Val by this point, but they just auditioned all the cheapies out there in case they can't get Val.
Just in case.
Let's go with this unknown guy. Yeah, because he can do any accent. Amazing.
He's going to do Scottish for us next. You know? Oh my God. Well, the difference. Did you rehearse Memento? Then you were talking about rehearsal.
Yeah, we did a week and a bit in a church hall, which mainly was Chris and I, but then Carrie Ann would come in, Joey Pants would come in. It was primarily the three of us, but at sort of different times, and then we'd have to break off and go and do a bit of a costume thing or what, you know. So, but Chris was keen to. And we weren't always getting up on our feet and saying the dialogue, but there were times because he was more than happy. Because I would say to him, I just want to how big's the room going to be? It's going to be that. So the door, and where's the door? The door's there. And I'm sliding chairs around the room and putting tape on the ground and doing that sort of stuff. I'm quite practical when it comes to that sort of thing. And I can answer questions better when I'm up on my feet.
Yeah.
I really can. I can think. I can just think more clearly about who it is I'm playing once I've gotten up on my feet. And am I going to slump in the chair after I've said that, or am I going to stare out the window for a while? Yeah, okay, this feels right to do this, So Chris was really happy to kind of do that stuff. It's funny, I did Sweet Bird of Youth for the Melbourne Theatre Company in about 2000 or 2001 or something. And it was meant to be with Helen Morse, who's this wonderful actress at home, incredible, stunning actress at home. And the day before we started, she pulled out because her father got sick and she had to take care of him. And I couldn't believe it. She pulled out. And thankfully, Wendy Hughes, another great, wonderful actress I'd worked with, her show had just finished and she stepped in last minute, came on board and, and so we started on rehearsing on the Monday. And straight away, Wendy and I were up on our feet and rehearsing and doing this, that, and the other. And after about 3 weeks of rehearsal, the director, Kate Cherry, said to me, if Helen had have done this play, we'd still be sitting around this table talking about it.
Wow.
And I just went, ooh. Well, that might have been hard. No offense to Helen, because she is incredible. But there comes a point where if I only sit and talk about it, it just becomes an intellectual process. And again, I could do that or I could do that. I don't know. I need to get on my feet,
Yes.
So,
but it's still better I feel for directors to still talk about it beforehand, even if it's a Zoom call, and I'd love your opinion on this, rather than on set when you're wasting time.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Okay. Because also things, you then have a little bit of time, you come away from the conversation and you go, okay, I hadn't thought of that. All right, okay. I'll now implement that into the script while I work away on the script, even if it is, as you say, just a Zoom call a week beforehand or whatever.
Yeah.
No, of course. I think trying to figure out anything on the set at that early stage is really a bad idea, a really bad idea.
Yeah.
It's funny you say Zoom call because I did a David Cronenberg film 2 years ago.
Yes.
And in the film, my character creates an avatar for Vincent Cassel, and I call it a koala bear. In the script, I call it a koala bear. Yeah. I'm playing a Canadian. I say it's a koala bear. And I said to David Cronenberg when I did my Zoom call with him, and David is so lovely. He's a really delightful, warm, enthusiastic. He's like a big kid, He's great to have and I said to him, hey, so I've got this line where I say koala bear. I said, obviously as an Australian, I know that they're not bears, so I should just say koala if that's okay. And he went, no, you'll say koala bear. I went, yeah, but they're not. They're not bears. Yeah. He said, yeah, but everyone thinks they're bears, so you'll say bear. And I went, no, I think I'll just say koala. He said, no, you'll say koala bear. And I really thought, okay, I'm not going to win this argument. I'll just stick. And he said, and I said, okay, so when we do promotion for the movie and all of Australia gives me a hard time because I've called it a koala bear, can I throw you under the bus? He said, yeah, go for it. Absolutely. I don't care. Please. He said, you're playing a Canadian. Canadians think they're called koala bears. Right. I went, okay, good point. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But of course, there I am on set going koala bear.
Yeah. And also try not to say it in an Australian accent because it's a very Australian word.
But the funny thing is, that Zoom call at least gave me, I then had like a week or two before I then turned up on set. And I thought at least I'd calmed myself down, that I had the conversation there and that I didn't have it on set with him,
Yeah. Which says rehearsals are so important. I totally agree. And it really should be an indie film. Producers out there listening, try and put it in your budget. Just try and do it. In terms of Brady, bringing it back to The Brutalist, how much rehearsal time? And then from that, was there anything magical from that rehearsal time that you brought onto set that was just came alive?
There actually wasn't much rehearsal time, but we all had a lot of discussions with Brady on the phone beforehand. He was very willing to get on the phone with us and talk for a long time.
Okay.
And people like Felicity Jones had been involved for 2 years before this film got made.
Right.
Because it was going to happen. They were looking at doing it, I think, in about 2020, and COVID happened and slowed everything down. And then I think they lost various casts that they were interested in originally, and and Felicity came on board at some point, I think in 2022, and they were still in the process of trying to find other cast. Mm-hmm. So Felicity said, even though we didn't actually get to really rehearse per se, we'd already had so many discussions that we can't, and so many discussions about how we were going to do things.
Yeah.
And with Brady going, yeah, great, that's great, that sounds great, absolutely great. So you really felt like Brady was the only person we had to answer to, which was something in itself. And he was on board, or we were at least finally getting to the place where we all knew what we were doing anyway. So there was no surprises. And Brady was very happy to block scenes and rehearse scenes before we shot them.
Okay.
So there was those rehearsals. If there were little questions, like I've just realized I'm not sure if I should have the power in this scene until this point in the scene, or do you think I enter the scene with the power? And Brady would say, yeah, no, I think later, leave it till later. So there'd be little stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we were also sort of well prepared that we were able to move and change to that degree. And quite often, a lot of the shots in the film are long one-shot scenes. So Brady would want to rehearse them quite a lot, also just so camera was all on board, and we were shooting on film, as well. So you don't want to be wasting film. You can't just be shooting. So better to rehearse. So we didn't do sort of the 2 weeks of rehearsal in a rehearsal room before we got on set, but we were doing. It felt quite liberal as far as how much we got to block the scenes and run over them a couple of times. And he never once had to say to us, because he's an actor himself, he never once had to say to us, don't blow your load too early. I don't want I need you to save it for the take. It's a dumb thing to say to people, I reckon, because we're actors. We don't. So he never had to say that to us.
Which is,
we knew how to be conservative, you know what I mean? Give it a certain, and just because you have to scream and shout in a scene doesn't mean you can't scream and shout in a rehearsal and then still deliver it when you do the take.
Yes.
So yeah, it was a great process with him, and he was always open and warm and willing to do another take if we asked for another take. And he's like, yeah, great, let's do another one.
Has anyone refused, like sort of said, no, we're fine, when you're like, no, please?
Yeah, I've had situations. I did a movie once. This was terrible response of mine. I did a movie once, and I'd asked for another take, and the director went, yes, all right. So I did the other take. I did another take, and as soon as it finished, she said, I preferred your previous one. And I said, I preferred my previous director.
Oh, the room went icy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Terrible.
But brilliant. Finally, then, just advice to directors not to say
not
that.
To stop me from doing another take.
Stop, Guy. We're losing light, Guy. I need 5 more setups.
Right.
Day's done. He's like, no. But in terms of like, what do you look for? Like, if someone was to send you, obviously the script amazing, but do you like letters? What do you look for when they pitch to you, when they talk to you?
I'm not looking for anything per se. I'm just seeing what the universe brings and kind of respond to it, to be honest. I mean, I'll certainly start reading something and go, I feel like I've read this before, or I'll read something and go, I'm just not buying this whatsoever. So there'll be reactions that I'll have to what comes, but I'm never actively looking for something per se. I suppose I'm always hoping to be surprised and hoping that this is going to be something I've never read before, and I go, oh wow. But it's not always the case.
No.
So,
but The Brutalist is. I mean, wow.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, an incredible performance. Seriously.
Thank you very well. And again, not to just be humble, but really to give sort of credence and credit where it's due. This is Brady's work, and I just got on board. Same with Curtis Hanson in LA Confidential, same with Chris Nolan, same with Todd Haynes, same with Ridley Scott. I just go, wow, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have done that.
Right. Beautiful. Listen, Guy, thank you so much. Good luck with all this. Real pleasure to meet you.
Thanks very much. Good to talk to you.
And you.
Right, cheers.
Well, there we have it. the wonderful Guy Pearce talking about The Brutalist and that incredible story about asking for another take and how not to react as a director when that happens. Otherwise, you might get that kind of response. Yeah, what do you expect? Yeah, Guy Pearce, huge congratulations. What a performance. What a film. Go watch it. I urge you. Go to the cinema now and watch The Brutalist. Be prepared. It's 3.5 hours, but it whizzes by. It didn't feel like that to me. It felt epic and wonderful and worthy. And you indie filmmakers out there should go see this. And if you're a lover of Guy Pearce, you're listening to this because of him, then you have to go see this movie. And if you have, you know exactly what I am talking about. Thank you to all those who listened to our episode this week with Brady Corbet and Judy Becker, the production designer, and Brady, the director of The Brutalist. If you haven't listened to that, go listen after this has stopped playing, because it's really insightful. It's really interesting about how he made the movie, how they shot it for 33 days, how the budget was only 6 million when it looks like it's 50 million. It's pretty impressive. Right, coming up for you wonderful people is episodes with Amelia Perez, editor, as well as actress Zoe Saldana. That's next week. That's next Tuesday for you. It's pretty exciting. It's a double header. And then on the 11th of February, we've got September 5. That movie, very exciting. And not long after that, we've got the Small Things episode. And Don has just recorded, Don and Wires recorded with the director of the new Bridget Jones film. So that'll be with you at some point soon as well. And then myself and Dan Richardson, who have both directed and produced our documentary Food for Thought, we will sit and do a podcast about how we made that, how we raised the money, how we actually went out there and did it, why it took pretty much 7 years to get out there, and why we're releasing it the way we're releasing it. Look forward to that. Cool. Thank you so much for listening. You are superstars. Have a brilliant weekend. Maybe do something this weekend. You've got to relax. I get that. You're working hard. Understand. But can't hurt to just think about your feature, your TV show, your project, whether it's a script you've got to write, whether it's an email you want to send. You can maybe think about writing it this weekend. You can think about who you can bring on to your project. Maybe do that. Either way, thank you for listening. I've been Giles Alderson. You were amazing. That was Guy Pearce. We'll see you on Tuesday. Oh, and if you are lucky enough to rise up and do well, like Guy Pearce has done, it is your duty to send the elevator back down. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.